Rural Lifestyle, brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick. In Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road.
Hey, thanks for staying with us and welcome to the 2011 Kansas Garden Show. We're with Chad and we're talking about seed, fertilizer, crabgrass prevention, and now we want to talk about moles.
Yes, probably it's my number one most asked question when we get here. It's something that can frustrate anybody. They'll walk out in their yard and they'll be like, what happened? You know, I worked so hard to get my yard seeded and fertilized, and then I've got all these bare spots and piles of dirt and all that kind of thing. And a lot of that damage has to do with moles. Moles are insectivores. That means that they are eating insects. So the poison peanuts, those sorts of things are kind of antiquated ways of going about it, aren't particularly directly successful with killing moles. A lot of times people will say, well, I used to have grubs, and so I kill the grubs and that's what the moles eat, and then I don't have any more. Well, since they changed the chemicals that we use for our yard, they used to kill earthworms as well. So like our diazonons, Durasbans, all that old stuff, man, it'd wipe out those grubs and all the earthworms as well. So now with the newer chemistries they have, they just kill the grubs, and all of a sudden we have this resurgence of moles.
And they like earthworms.
They love earthworms. They have to eat their weight a day in earthworms.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast their metabolism is, and they have to go. That is to our advantage when we go to bait them, because they're going to have to eat a voracious amount, and by putting out those baits, that does a great job of taking them out for you.
Now, I guess my question is, Chad, there are so many different soil types here in northeast Kansas. My yard, a lot of clay.
Okay.
A lot of clay. But you get somewhere down like in Silver Lake, it's more sandy. So where are we going to find the most problems? Is it going to be here in Topeka with that kind of clay, or is it going to be in that sandy?
It's always sandy. Okay. The reason why sandy is sand holds the least amount of water, and when they disconnect the root system from the sand that's already hard at holding water, it never has enough water to compete, and you'll see those areas die first. You know, sandy's always a weakness when it comes to water holding capacity, fertilizing holding capacity, but it's also the easiest to pull. You know, the plant can easily pull water from sand, easily pull nutrients from sand. It just doesn't have a very big gas tank. Yeah.
But that's where we're going to find our biggest mold problem.
Yeah, probably in sandy, because it's easy to maneuver, easy to go about. And the way you go about actually baiting or trapping these tends to be most successful. And you go out and you'll find an active run, or a run that you believe is active, and you'll take an old garden hoe or something like that, and you'll just poke a little skylight in that run. And when you poke a skylight in the run, overnight he'll come back and maintain that. He'll actually plug that hole, say, hey, something happened to my run, I don't want that. And then he's indicated to you where you need to bait or trap. Okay. The other runs he likely doesn't go back to. If you don't see any activity, there's no sense baiting or trapping an area where he's not going to return.
Chad, when it comes to baiting moles, what are our options?
There's mainly two options that are out on the market. You've got either worms or you've got grubs, and those are the only two that have been tested to work. Okay, there's lots of other products out there that will have a claim associated with killing worms. Everything from poison peanuts to, I've heard, juicy fruit gum, you know, people throw out there, or whatever gum, it's supposed to work. But insects are its natural food source, so those baits that mimic the natural food source are where it's at. I mean, they really do the best job possible.
So when we say mimic, we mean something that acts like, smells like. Is that
it's really by feel. They're going to run into it with those big whiskers of theirs. They're basically blind. They're going to be like, wow, that feels just like an earthworm. Boom, I'm going to chow it down. Or, man, that feels just like a grub. I'm going to chow it down. And then the poison's taken in about 24 hours, does its thing, and your mole problem goes away.
Okay. Yep. Now, once one bites the dust, do the rest of them go, I'm out of here, or are they going to stay and eat until
they'll stay
done?
And eat as well. Okay. You just have to go and verify a new active run, and just continue on with that step process until you thin them out.
Perfect. Chad, thanks for your time.
Hey, appreciate it very much.
You're very welcome. Make sure, heycow.com.
Heycow.com, and we've got some links there that walk you through these steps. Got a great photo on the back of a mole trap that has those steps there for you to look at.
Perfect.